Today I'm going to show you how to make a version of this little fancy fish. This makes a great keychain or a purse charm or just a little trinket that you can give to a child or keep for yourself. You can use any color of yarn you want, but I'm going with I Love This Yarn as the brand, and the color is ivory. It is a 7-ounce yarn. I'm going to be using a 3mm hook. This is my pretty much favorite hook, other than maybe a 3.5 or a 4. So a 3mm hook. That is not what the yarn is going to recommend. This yarn recommends a 5.5. I'm just telling you right now, I have really good success with a 3mm. We will also be needing a tapestry needle, a stitch marker, way to cut the yarn. I like this little yarn ring, or you can use scissors if you like. Some stuffing to fill the body. This is all we're going to need. Now that we have all of our supplies gathered up, let's get started on this adorable little fish. So pulling my yarn from the center of the skein, I'm going to magic circle, and I'm going to put 5 stitches. Now I'm going to pull it tight, but first I'm going to count that I have 5. And now I'm just going to pull it tight. And that completes our first row. For our second row, we are just going to put an increase into each of these first 5. So going to the first stitch near the, I guess it's like the butt, I'm just going to insert the hook. This is the hardest stitch of the entire project, right there. And we're going to put 2 stitches into each stitch. Now that we have 10 stitches in our second round, I'm going to go ahead and start using my stitch marker, and we're going to put that in the very last stitch. For round 3, we are going to do a single crochet increase pattern all the way around. So that's just going to repeat itself. We'll put a single crochet in here, an increase in here, single crochet here, increase here. And what this is going to do is this second row has only 10 stitches, and by the time we get to the end of the third row, we will have 15. So I'll do the first sequence with you, and then I'm gonna do a time lapse. So 1 stitch in the first, and then in the second stitch, we're going to do an increase, which means to do 2 single stitches. So in those 2 stitches, we now have made 3 single crochet, and I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So that was the end of row 3. On to row 4, we are going to do 2 single crochet and then an increase, and we're going to do that repeated all the way around, which is going to jump our stitch count from 15 to 20 within row 4. So I'll do the first sequence, and then I'll let you do it by yourself. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, 2 single crochet in the third stitch. And then we're going to just repeat this all the way around. And that concludes the 4th row. Moving on to the 5th row, we're going to begin single crocheting. So when we ended the 4th row, we have 20 stitches. We are going to end the 5th row with 20 stitches because we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch. That ends the 5th round. Now the 6th round is going to be a little bit more complicated. So what we're first going to do, and we're going to take it step by step, is we're going to go ahead and just put 4 single crochet in 4 stitches. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as you probably saw in the banner, it says 4 single crochet and then chain 3. So in this 4th crochet, we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then in that 4th single crochet, you can see right here we have a space, and in that space, still the 4th single crochet, we're going to insert our hook, pull our yarn through, and we are going to make a slip stitch. And that is going to connect our chain all within that 4th single crochet. From here, we are going to single crochet 6. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to pause with this 6th single crochet since this element, and here we are going to chain 5 straight up off this 6th single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoop. At this point it looks insane, but you have to trust me. We are going to repeat that slip stitch back into our 6th single crochet hole. So this is where our 6th single crochet went into. So we're going to reinsert into that exact hole, pull our yarn through, and we are going to slip stitch. Just like that. I'm going to give it a little cinch. And it still looks a little insane, but it looks less insane. Single crochet 6 more. If my yarn will work with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And with this 6th single crochet from this element, we are going to chain 3. So we are pretty much mirroring this side. 1, 2, 3. And once again, we are going to slip stitch back into that 6th single crochet. And it's gonna fight me on it because, of course, but we will win. And now we have slip stitched back into that original 6th single crochet. And from here we have 4 stitches left, and yes, we are going to single crochet 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that ends row 6. And we still have 20 stitches to work into. It might be confusing right at this moment, but it'll make sense. But for now, all you need to know is you have now created the 2 side fins and the dorsal fin. Going into row 7, we are just going to single crochet 20. So I'll just kind of go with you all the way around to show you how we are going to single crochet around the fins. So for now, we're just going to single crochet 3, and then when we get to the 4th single crochet, I'll show you what we'll do. So 1, 2, 3. Now that 4th crochet is where we got all tricky with the last row, and that row worked out of this little hole. However, our 4th single crochet is going to be this loop right here. And let me see, this loop right here. So we are going to insert our hook right here, and we're going to single crochet. Oh, of course that happens. Okay, so now we've single crochet 4. How are we going to get to over here? Well, we need to look for single crochet 5. So not the slip stitch, the 5th single crochet we did in row 6. So if you look, right, this little nub I shouldn't have used white for this tutorial, I'm sorry, but this little nub is the slip stitch. This is the 6th single crochet in row 6. So for row 7, we are going to single crochet in the 4th single crochet, and then we're going to reach all the way over here to the 5th, push our hook through, grab the yarn, make it long, bend it so that the hook goes behind the fin, and then we are going to single crochet as normal, and then we're gonna cinch it. And see how it popped the little fin up? And we're gonna do that again with each fin. So here, we're going to fill in just the normal single crochet that happens between the side fin and the dorsal. Now, if you remember, there were 6 stitches between the side fin and then the dorsal. So when we do 5 single crochet, we're looking for the 6th single crochet, which is right here. Right, insert here. So now we have 6. Wow, my camera is struggling to focus. So now we have 6, and we're going to look for the 7th single crochet, which will be right here. Not this little bubble, not this one, this one right here. So we go underneath, under here, and there we go. Pull it long, make sure the fin is in front of the hook, and cinch it, just like that. Okay, so we're gonna do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just before the chain. And then, okay. And then all we have left now is the 3. I feel like I made that confusing, and if I did, I am so sorry. I just felt like it would be better to show you and try to use my words, but if I made that confusing, I apologize. The main thing to remember is that the chained elements of row 6 don't count in the stitch counts of row 7. So you just only crochet into the single crochets of row 6, if that helps clarify. Row 8 is going to be 20 single crochet, and because we've already put a row on top of the fins, it's going to be just plain normal crochet stitches that we'll be working into. That finishes row 8. And now that we're going to row 9, we're going to change things up just a little bit. We're now going to do 2 single crochet followed by a decrease. So we are going to single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch. But when we come to the third stitch, we're going to do a decrease. So we're going to loop into 1, and then we're going to loop into the next, and we are going to decrease. We're going to repeat the sequence all the way around. It's going to reduce our stitch count from 20 down to 15. That finishes the 9th row, and we have now reduced our stitch count from 20 to 15. For row 10, we're going to do a single crochet decrease sequence. So in the first stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then in the second and the third stitch, we're going to combine those 2 for a decrease. And we are going to repeat this sequence all the way around. All right, so that finishes up row 10. Before we move to row 11, I'm going to advise that we go ahead and stuff, because row 11 is another decrease, and that reduces our stitch count from 10 to 5, and that is so small that even like my pinky finger doesn't fit in well. So we're going to go ahead, take our polyfill, and we're just going to start stuffing it. This is not a project that needs to be overly stuffed. This isn't like a squishy that's going to be hugged. and squished until the polyfill is compacted. So I probably would just fill enough so that it's not bursting, but it's just gently filled. Now that we have the fish stuffed, we are going to go into the 11th row. And in the 11th row, it is just 5 sets of decreases. So we are going to be dropping our stitch count from 10 all the way down to 5. Okay, so now we have reduced our stitch count to 5. It looks insane. It looks like it's been fully closed off. From here, we are going to reverse what we've just done. So we are now going to increase. In the first stitch, we are going to put 1, 2, all the way around until our stitch count is 10. And I'll see you then. And now we're ready to go into row 13. Row 13 is going to be a single crochet increase. So in the first stitch, we're going to do 1. Oh, sorry. In the second stitch, we're going to single crochet 2. And we're going to repeat this all the way around, and it's going to jump our stitch count from 10 back up to 15. We're essentially repeating the beginning steps of the entire project, and you'll see what we'll do with it in just a moment. For our 14th and final row, we are going to do 2 single crochet and 1 single increase, and we're going to repeat that. So 1, 2, and then in this third one, we're going to put 2. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So that being our last row, we are ready to finish off. We're going to just cut the tail, but we're going to leave excess for sewing. We finished all the stitches of the 14th row, but I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch the tail shut. I'm going to actually skip this stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch into here so it's a little bit more smooth, because it's been. Now I'm going to grab my tapestry needle, and from here we are going to flatten the tail. Okay, first we're going to look at our fish. So we have this kind of floppy, funky looking guy. He's tall. And then we have the 2 little side fins. We want the tail to be flat and lined up with the top dorsal fin. So you're going to kind of just look at it from the side and from the front until you have it how you want it. So that's kind of the path I'm going to follow. And to kind of smooth this out a little further, I'm going to make a fake slip stitch with my tapestry needle. And I'm going to then loop it back into here, just to make it a little smoother. And then from here, I am just going to stitch back and forth 2 alternating stitches. So I'm going to put my hook in here, and I'm going to have it coming out underneath this stitch. Whoop. Okay, so up close, I'm going to put my hook in here, have it come out there. Now I'm going to crisscross back the other direction. I'm probably going to put my needle here and come out here. Okay, so I'm going to put it in this stitch and the stitch that's directly across from it. You can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to just repeat that all the way up the tail. We want it fairly tight so that the stuffing does not come out. And to keep the tail's shape. Alrighty, now, you might think we're done. We have one more step to do. I am going to insert my hook just randomly into one side, not both. And then I'm going to just shoot it into the tail and inside the body. And I'm going to aim to pull my needle out right here. Oh, and I did it on the first try. Okay. I don't want this dorsal fin sticking so straight up. And I made it long because I want it to lay in more of a triangle. So, taking my string, I'm going to, or excuse me, taking my yarn and my needle, I'm going to just hook it into one of the loops, whichever one makes most sense. There's no exact science. Put my tapestry needle back into the same hole that I came out of, and I'm just gonna send it to the bottom. And we're gonna tighten. And that is going to pull little dorsal fin into more of a triangle shape, which I think is cuter than it being kind of like rounded. So now we have a completed fish. I'm just gonna kind of hide the end. I'm gonna give it some secure loops. I'm just gonna shove the tail in. And there you have the base of your fish done. From here, you can go ahead and add eyes. On this one, I just used a plain black. You can put them wherever. I would assume that you would probably put them somewhere around the third or the fourth row, and you could do them any shape. You could also then accessorize. For this fish, I'm not going to accessorize it in this video, but essentially what I did is using the same string, I cut it really long with black. I first did the eyes, and then I just did some simple like single stitch embroidery. As you can tell, I just came in and out of this same hole over and over again and just repeated the pattern on both sides. And I just added one singular stitch. My needle went in here, it came up here. I pushed it through this stitch and put it back in. And that's how I did those. I think it'd be kind of fun to do some marker art on this one, and I'll probably make a short about that. Or if you are into beauty supplies, I think it'd be cute to do like little black eyes and then do just a little dusting of blush on the cheeks. Keep it simple. This is the basic template for making just a cute little fish. It would make a great charm. It would make a great gift. It might even make a cat toy. I think it's pretty fun, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this pattern was fairly easy to follow along with. Please leave me any tips or tricks for future tutorials. I really want to make these easy for anyone to follow along with. So I hope you enjoyed making this fish. I'm really, really happy with this cute pattern, and I'm gonna be making several more. I really appreciate you watching this whole video, and if you prefer a written pattern, I will include it right now.